Hey, look at all that firewood in there. Got it stacked up to the rafters. And here's the rest of the oak that has to go in there, which is why it's stacked up to the rafters. This is a small thing. Anyway, I'm not here to talk about firewood today. I'm here to talk about something completely different. What I am here to talk about today is I'm going to walk down the road just a little bit to where there's some beautiful oak trees and collect some acorns for reasons that I'll talk about in just a minute. So here on our property, believe it or not, we have an old mine. Some call it Old Betsy. Some call it not actually a mine. But anyway, that's down below, down there. But that's not what I'm here to talk about, actually. October is acorn season. So I'm here under the oak trees to hopefully find some beautiful acorns. This seems to be a really good year for them, and this was the staple food of the native people of this area. And yep, sure enough, it looks like there's quite a lot of really good ones. This is the time to get them. There's like first fall that happens in September, August, where it seems like, oh, the acorns are falling, but actually they're the ones that are no good. They have the caps still attached, or they have worms in them or something like that. But this time of year, the second fall of the acorns is what you want, and that's what we're seeing now with these nice dark colored. This one feels a little light, but I'm going to gather it anyway. And it's gathering, not harvesting or picking. It's the preferred term is gathering. But you want these nice dark colored ones with no holes, no caps. You can see that they look fresh. No animals have been at them or anything like that. And so that's what I'm over explaining today is acorns and why I am getting them. And partly for food safety, honestly. These are uncertain times. Acorn is above and beyond even deer is the staple food of the local native population, the southern Sierra Miwok. And this particular type is it's a black oak, and that was the sweetest type of acorn with the least amount of tannins in it. So it was easy to get the tannins out and make it into a good food for the people of this area. And they would make a flour. They're called grinding rocks, but that's not really an accurate term. It's more grinding rocks isn't really a thing. You don't want to grind the acorn. It's more pounding it into a flour, letting it dry, and you have to let it dry for about a year. So I'm gathering these in anticipation of next year being able to use them in baking and ice cream, and it makes a good nutty flour. It's high in proteins, plant proteins, as nuts are, so it's a good source of nutrition, and I wanted to get those this year finally. And because you have to dry them, I'm just going to use yon cardboard box here to collect and put them in, so that there's air circulation, because if you put them in a plastic container, they'll mold and rot. You don't want that. Like a laundry sack would work. I used to use gunny sacks. Acorn granaries from the old times aren't really being built much anymore because, obviously, sacks are much more convenient. So, or cardboard boxes. And you just store them where they can be in a dry place until you want them next year. And then you're going to open them up and take off the skin on the nut inside and pound it into flour, or run it through a machine that does that if you're that way. And then have your lovely acorn flour. The gathering time would have been a community activity. Lots of songs being sung and stories being told. The whole village would go out, and it would be a great time and a community time. And it's a little bit sad that I'm out here by myself doing this with no community and no songs and no, you know, group stories and all that. But, you know, these are the times we're in. So. Maybe sometime again in the future, in my future or the world's future, then acorn harvest will be a time for celebration again. People have forgotten this as a food source. And it's just all just sitting here for the respectful gathering. Always leave a gift. A lot of people leave tobacco, but I don't leave tobacco just because it can be environmentally a problem. There's tobacco mosaic virus that can be a problem in gardens and for wild plants. So a few hairs from your head is often an appropriate gift, because if you're plucking from a plant, well, you should pluck back, right? That's the thinking on that. Always remember where these things come from. And thank nature, thank where you are, be grateful for what you've been given. And the bounty and the harvest just that the land provides. There's a great book that's been written by a friend of mine, Julia Parker, who taught me basketry, traditional basketry. She's a Kashia Pomo and has learned many of the Miwuk ways too. And it's called It Will Live Forever. So that's a really good book to pick up if you want to see the acorn process, how it's made into flour, how it was done, and from the native perspective, from the traditional perspective that goes back, you know, tens of thousands of years in California here. I'm sure there's videos on YouTube that you can watch also, how to pound acorn into flour or how to get the tannins out. The tannins are the what makes it bitter, and too much tannins can actually make you sick. So you want to wash those out. There's different ways of doing that, and next year after these are dry, I'll show how to do that. Right now I'm just picking them fresh, right? So I can't do that in this video, but hopefully I'll still have videos in a year and I'll still be here doing this and gathering acorns and remembering the old ways. Even if I'm not a tribal member, I can still be respectful in my own land here, and remember whose land this originally was, and keep the old ways alive, and have food security for my family too. These are all important things. Often what they would do is sweep away the older stuff in preparation for the good ones, so that it was easier to pick the good dark nuts here. Like, obviously that's, you know, you can tell which one's the good one versus the not good one. So it's easy to spot these beautiful brown nuts here. And in just a few minutes, you can see I've gotten, you know, all of this already in just a few minutes of gathering. So another thing to remember is that you're sharing this food with the animals around you. So don't take every single last acorn that you find. Always leave a few. Don't take more than you need. Remember, other animals eat these too. Well, one thing the cardboard box doesn't have is a good way to carry it, really. I mean, the traditional way would be with a burden basket. That was a big cone-shaped basket that you'd wear on your back, and how you'd have that is, there's called a tump line. I don't know why the names for these things. And that goes around your forehead, and then you can wear that burden basket on your back, and you just throw the acorns over your shoulders as you're going around and gathering them. That makes that easier than a cardboard box. Anyway, I'll just pause here and throw it back to y'all and your lives and whatever. So hope you thought that was entertaining and informative, and I will see you next time. Subscribe, hit the bell so that you're notified, hopefully, ideally, when I post another one of these things. And hopefully I'll post another one soon. It's been a busy couple of weeks. We've been doing a lot of cleanup. So a lot of things have come up, but I hope to get back out and do more of these as fall turns into winter. Firewood and how to light a wood stove. That probably would be of interest to people. Let me know what you'd like to see me cover in the comments, and I'll do what I can. So hope you liked it. Thanks much, and see you next time.